Hi guys, Kristen Smith here with episode 12 of The Punisher, my review, and this episode is entitled Home. Jeez, this episode. So, it's this and 13, so we're definitely in the end game of this show, but I did not expect it to be this insane with one episode still remaining. We'll start from the beginning because a lot happens. A lot happens. So basically, David and Frank are now working with Russo. In exchange for David's family, Russo is getting intel. So Frank has already confessed to what happened in Kandahar, has already said who was involved, what happened, all the details that he knows. And David will only do it if, Madani helps them rescue his family. And so they set up this plan to basically, what Russo wants is for David and Frank to hand themselves over in exchange for David's family. Well, that obviously that's just what they're going to do because they're crazy. But, they have a plan. And so Russo shows up after the exchange is made and with all her cops and surprise them, and they're firing and accidentally they shoot David, and so they get Russo's team gets Frank, but they leave David behind because they think he's dead. And obviously the only people who knew that this plan was real was Madani and Russo, or Madani, definitely not Russo, Frank and David, and no one else. So all the reactions are just exactly what Russo needs to see to be convinced that David is dead. Well, he's not dead, and now he's reunited with his entire family, which is awesome. And there's also a little bit of just struggle between David and his wife because he's been dead for a year, and then she just saw him die again. And not the best way to say you're sorry to your wife. Just putting that out there. If you are in a relationship, don't pretend you're dead for a year and then immediately pretend you're dead again. It's not a good idea, guys. So now that we've got that out of the way, basically, Frank is taken hostage and he gets tied up and basically told, you have to stop this countdown clock or we're going to beat you. And he doesn't, so then they beat him. And he doesn't really respond to it. He's having these visions of his wife, and he's basically putting his mind in another place to deal with the torture that's happening to him. But he holds out until Rollins shows up, and he basically beats Frank into a stupor. Once Frank wakes up, he confesses to Russo that if he tells Russo what's going on and how to stop the clock, he wants Russo to kill him. Russo promises. Frank stops the clock. He is doing this because he wanted the chance to kill Rollins. He finds a hidden weapon and stabs Rollins, and he wanted to get him in the heart. He gets him in the upper shoulder, which was pretty close, and then he tries to bite into his jugular. He doesn't kill Rollins. It's a cool scene, though. Sorry, just biting people in the jugular, no big deal. And so then, he gets beaten some more, and it's brutal and terrible. And you feel real bad for Frank until you realize that this is just where he wants to be. I mean, he is surrounded by people that he wants to kill. And at this point, he's created a situation where they do not think that he will be able to fight back. Well, David has the whole place wired with cameras and audio equipment, and so he's got the whole thing on tape. I mean, they've basically confessed to doing everything in Kandahar, and they've got all the tapes of them torturing Frank, and this is basically just everything that Madani needs in order to put Rollins and Russo in jail forever. But that's not quite what happens. Rollins decides that he wants Frank to be awake while he tries to take out his eye, and so he pumps him full of adrenaline, but not before he, really insults Russo. Russo begins to realize that Rollins doesn't care anything about him, that, if Rollins goes down, Russo will go down first. He will do anything to protect himself, and Russo is not on his list of priorities. So Russo kind of helps Frank along and cuts his bonds a little bit. And, with all the extra adrenaline, Rollins stands no chance. He gets completely wasted, just stabbed many times. And then, there's a really gross scene where Frank just, like, so gross. And ooh, it's gross. Ooh, I'm just thinking about it. This is nasty. He just takes out his eyes. Not not my favorite, but it was yeah, it was gruesome, man. So there was that scene, and Frank is just incredibly wounded. So after he kills Rollins, he is pretty sure he's gonna die, but he has the satisfaction of knowing that all of this is on camera, and also the satisfaction of knowing that the cops have arrived and that there is no way that Russo is going to get away with what he's done. And so he's perfectly fine dying at this point. So basically, David shows up, saves Frank, gets Madani's help, I assume, but we don't actually see it happen. We'll just assume that she does because there's really only one episode left. So they have to team up at some point, and it might as well be this. Um, and so, if Frank can survive the incredible amount of injuries he has, then he's obviously going to go after Russo in the next episode because Russo was not captured as far as I know. He was shot, but not captured. And the end episode lets out with a lot of cliffhangers. Like, will Frank be okay? Will he be alive? What will happen? If Madani does help them, obviously they're cops all over the place. It's not going to go unnoticed if she just helps Frank Castle out of custody. And what's going to happen with Russo? So a lot of questions. This episode was just, I mean, you knew that this kind of thing was coming. It's a Punisher show, and they're not holding back, and they've never held back. And this was just disgustingly good. That's a good way to put it. One episode left. I'm super excited to watch it, and I'm really excited to finish this show. It's been 2 weeks, and I'm finally finishing it. So I'm just so happy. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments of this episode. And if you want to check out any of my other Punisher reviews, you can check out my playlist right over there. You can also subscribe to my channel right on over there. And thanks for watching this. I hope you all take care, and I will see you in the next episode.